Why girls who don't SD will always be sad. When I was in Mexico, I was trying to have sex with a Mexican girl, and she kept saying no. But I don't speak Spanish. So I said, well, why don't you just suck it then? And she said, I don't do that. And I said, we actually have a word in English for girls who don't SD. And she said, oh, really? What word is that? And I said, single. This video is for everyone, but especially the ladies. Listen up. I once dated a woman in Mexico named Paula. That is her real name, but since there are about 1 million Paulas in Mexico, I don't think it's a big deal. If by some miracle she's watching, she knows she is the Paula about whom I'm speaking. Hi, Paula. We met on Bumble, and she was the first girl that I met on there that I had ever seriously considered as a long-term official girlfriend. About 6 years had passed since my last relationship, and I was ready to give love another shot. She was a very good fit for me, very active, curvaceous but not fat, pretty, well-read in many areas, even familiar with Nietzsche. There was just one big problem. She would not fillet me. Before I met her, I was already seeing someone else named Daniela, who was quite talented in that department. A certified throat goat. And Daniela is that girl's real name too, but there's about 10 million Danielas in Mexico, so no reason not to use the real names, I don't think. Anyway, she was very talented. In the spirit of transparency, but also in the hopes of motivating her, I told Paula that until she took over that duty from Daniela, I would continue to see Daniela occasionally. I told her that if she wanted exclusivity, she would have to fulfill all of my needs. It didn't work. At first, she said she wouldn't do it no matter what. I explained to her that I had grown accustomed to receiving oral hygiene, and that she was insane to expect me to go the rest of my life without it. She then said she would only do that for someone with whom she had been exclusive for a long time. So we were at an impasse. I wanted the knob slob before exclusivity, and she wanted exclusivity before the dome polishing. It was at this point that I decided it was over, because, as far as I could tell, this lack of desire to please me was indicative of a deeper problem: selfishness. I should point out that this whole time I was being a very cunning linguist, enduring many sore tongues and stiff necks, with no complaint and with much enthusiasm, waiting and hoping for the day of reciprocity, but it never came, though she did, many times. When feminists say they want equality, it only means equality that benefits them. They don't want equality on the oil rigs, nor in the coal mines, nor apparently in the oral cavity. When I told Paula I was throwing in the towel, she tried to offer what I had been asking for all along, but it was too late. I could tell that any attempt she made would be lackluster at best, lacking lust. And I think a begrudging BJ is probably worse than none at all. There certainly would be no sincere attempts at thiep-throating. There would be no gooks, nor hawk-tuas. At first I thought it was odd that she was 28, pretty, smart, fit, and still single. But now it all makes sense. I guess she wasn't so smart after all. I was going to title this video, Women Who Don't SD Will Always Be Single, but that isn't exactly true. They will be able to find men who don't demand it, but it isn't going to be because they don't want it or out of the goodness of their hearts. It's going to be because they are desperate and have no options, and we all know women don't really want desperate men with no options. So, which way, Western woman?